data analyst, you are best suited when you have the requisite tools to work with. At Crystal Data Concept, we train you with the use of Tableau visualization tool. Tableau is one of the visualization tool that is used to bring to understanding insights about businesses so that stakeholders can be able to make informed decisions. We have a lot of interactive visual interplay that is quite embedded in the Tableau. There are quite a lot. Tableau Professional, Tableau Desktop, amongst many. We teach you how to use this to make business decisions for your business, for your company, and for the industry. It is a place where teaching is made easy. At Crystal Data Concept, the mystery about Tableau is demystified. Within 1 and 2 months, you are good to go.
Hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. We did class 2, 3, 4, 5. The day of class 6, there was network problem. So I'll just have to open a new page. Let me see. Let me see. Class 5. Just for page to open. Okay. It's opening up. We'll not waste too much time today. So I hope you can see my screen. If you can hear me, please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So this is a visualization that I hope you are getting used to it, or you're just packing it. You know the problem, when you pack book too much, it will cause crease. So it's good as you are packing the books, you are also understanding the secret behind it and what was done. That's the whole. So I don't want to talk too much on the calculation, but we know that we can always do a calculation with our analysis. This analysis is a very, very important place where you can do some calculation. Before then, we have done table calculation, the one you use logic to set to get calculation. The one we talk about high sales, low sell, and the rest. Those are the logic that you can use. You can come here, you see percentage of. You can use it to change whatever you have in your table, whether row, column, row, or the table. You can change it. You can work for your pen or the column in pen or the cell individually. You can do calculation with it. You can include total in your work. Show your grand total, column, and the rest. You can also do forecasting. In forecasting, you go to analytics. We'll get there. You can get to analytics and do your forecasting. And the forecasting talks about making predictions based on what is on ground. You are trying to make extrapolation based on what we have seen so far and how the trends are going. How can we be able to see 2 weeks? Can we be able to see 3 years? It may not be perfect, but it is giving you a body of range in which values can be obtained. Now look at trend line. As trend is moving, it is just projecting an average about where the position movement of of focus. Then you can create special values in your work. Legend talks about your design, how you want to see the features you are trying to work with. We can also do filter. Filter can be done here. Filter can also be done in this filter mark. It's this same thing. Not one thing with about Tableau is that just like Power BI, you have more than one place to do the same thing. So you can filter your sum of, like this one now that is here now is telling you what you can filter. We have market, and I know market should be in the, this market is under text. We have sum of budget, what sum of sales. So whatever we're seeing here is what is on this table. So you can set to do one or two filtration there. Highlight and the rest. Parameter is all about trying to define what you want to, the range which you want to work before you start your work. Just like when we take up our hypothesis before we do our experiment, we say you want this thing to be within this range, 5% level of error. It should not exceed that. Then you start. So parameter, you put some things according to how you want them to be in your work. Then you go ahead to do your work. You see calculated field. Under calculated field, you can now see differently, because we have finished this one. That's why it's not showing up. Calculated field will give you room to make calculation on what you want to do. Like one of the creation we did, we have to swap some things, but this swapping of row and column is the same thing of what we do here, where we'll swap row to column and column to row, depending on how you want to see your view. Then you swap it. Then another place again you can see calculation is on the analytics, this place. When you come here, you see we have summarize. You're summarizing your work in by different condition. Are you summarizing by a constant line or the average? You can get the average of this work, like this one now. I can pick up this average. When I bring it up here, you ask me, am I checking the average of table or for different pen or for cell? Pen now, when we have different category like this type and market, if they are separated, you can call them pen. You can get average for different segments. So when we put on table here, it will give me the average. So I'm seeing my average around 100k. So anything above is above average, anything below is below average. So that is another form of calculation. So you don't need to do any mathematical formula there. You just put it there and you get your answer. Then it's also looking at your median quartile, the median with quartiles, among others. Then you have model. Model is looking at the CI. At this CI, I say I will check it. I didn't check. I can't remember. But I think it's has to do with index. But we need to know what it really means so that it can be able to guide us properly. So when you look at average of 95, for the average, the median with 95, it will give you a particular kind of activity. See, some of the features are not showing because they're not needed in this work per se. The trend and the forecast are not showing, so they are not needed. But when we do some work, the forecast will come out for you to actually make forecast. That note I gave you, you can actually practice some forecast there. Then cluster, when you want to segregate your work by some particular characteristics, such that the features similar to certain characteristics, the distance between them are very, very small within, but distance within them and other characteristics are much apart. You can able to cluster. In Python, we do much of this clustering analysis where we don't have target, we don't have label, because sometimes when you want to work like a regression, you know where we're headed to. But in the other place now, you have figures, you don't know where we're headed to. So we go based on the characteristic, we do clustering, and by clustering we're able to segregate and use k-means and the rest to know how many cluster that is appropriate, and will you go ahead. Then for this custom now, you create it for reference line, reference band and distribution band. I think we'll use some of them in this work. So when you visit the video, you also see that. I just want to touch briefly on that so that we can go to the next work we want to do today, which will not take us much time, then we'll close. And we want to look at this aspect called the dashboard. The dashboard. Now we have looked at many aspects of Tableau. We have looked at what they do individually and in some particular set. So I was saying about we have not learned how to join different data through blending. So we are going to do that today. By tomorrow, I think we should be able to do that. So this dashboard is the tool we use to kind of begin to have a form of a summary, mindset of summary of all the visualization we have done. So we continue to bring out visuals. Now some particular questions may come up. It will require us to answer it by summing up more than one visual. And when we do that, sometimes we impress ourselves. Let's look at the work that we had here that needed visual. I don't know which of them. Let me open up this one and see. I hope you can see my screen as I've changed this thing.
Yes.
Okay. I want to see if this was one that have the visual. Just a moment. Dashboard. Okay. This is an example of a dashboard. A question was asked best performing sales, for instance. So based on best performing sales, of course, it is not you go ahead to show some things. Here it says by year. When you look at the sales and it's by year, we have 2015, 2016, and from here we can see that for furniture we have share for the subcategory. Under furniture, when you go to subcategory, you see that it's share. Then you can come here, office supply, you see storage. Technology is even the best, even from the color, darker color. It shows that technology and phone is the subcategory. Answering the question best for 2015. When you maybe go down and look at 2016, it will also give you a view of where the sales, the best sales are coming from. For instance, now the same diagram, we see best performing product. So this is a kind of a performance dashboard. Now you see that we can easily see where we are even though you are supposed to click up, but this one is just like a picture, and you are giving also the indication or the key telling you darker ones are better performance than the ones that are brown. Another one again, best subcategory. So these things you are seeing, we are assembled by the person answering the question. Best subcategory. So all these ones we are able to be put under one. For instance, to see if another question was answered. This is another dashboard. You say you want to see product by profit and sell. Now this product by profit and sell, or product by product sell by segment, you see which of the segment is performing better, was put under one dashboard table to give us some important view, which we are going to go back to our work. I just wanted to see how dashboard can look like when you finish it. Whatever you want to bring in that answers the question, you bring it up so that the the shareholder or the stakeholder or the people of interest will be able to have a quick glance and have a feel of where we are heading to. That is what um dashboard. Another one again, this dashboard 3. What is this one answering? Product sales by segment. Now this one you see this different page. You can even have the same visual appearing, answering 3 different questions. All you need to do is to state them very very well so that it will make sense for anybody looking at it. This is most profitable subcategory. We're able to propagate them based on that among others. So having seen this, look at this one. This one has to do with geography, location, what the question says by location, and we can see that darker place, this is Los Angeles, and what is the name of this, New York, are making good profit, and this one is making very bad loss. And also we can continue. The thing is that it is what you say you want to see in your dashboard that you eventually show people to see. A story about your work. Let me go back again to where we are. It's telling us a story about your work. So, but before you begin to have those propelling visuals, you must know how to manipulate the dashboard to give you what you want. So just like when we started our class in a Tableau, we're able to sit down and explain some certain things for us so that it will make sense to us. And the ones up are already, you are used to it. Your file, your data, your worksheet, dashboard. This dashboard is what we are seeing here now. The story is what we eventually come to at the conclusion of Tableau. Analysis is the same analysis you know that is here. It's not different. Then we'll have map, format, server. But of course, this server will not work because it's Tableau public. Then the window amongst others. Then when you come down to the next, the lower one, this is when you want to go back to your last step or you move back to the step. They are all there. You want to bring in a new data source. Is there? This one is for you to save your work to Tableau public from here. And this one I can't remember. But I think it's on replay. But I've never used it before. Now this is your new worksheet. You want to bring up another dashboard. You can do that here, or you can go down. But this worksheet is not for the dashboard. This is for your work. Assuming you are working now, you want to create another worksheet. An idea just came up. You just quickly go here and take you back to your worksheet. Then you can duplicate whatever you are doing among others. So it's a clear this thing. You can play this like a presentation mode, just like what you do with PowerPoint. You can do that here. I hope we know how to utilize PowerPoint very very well, because if you don't know, I will take one class to teach on PowerPoint and how you can use it to work. It's a very very good tool for visualization. Now this is your dashboard environment and this is your layout. They are two different things, just like we have our data and our analytics. So dashboard is showing you this. When you click on layout, it will give you a different setting. So these settings are good for your dashboard. So you can see it has a default mode. Now for those that are using phone or your work you want to do will be on phone, this is where you click. You see this small icon. You will edit your layout or to do whatever you want to do, which you are not doing now. Now you can also preview your device. What device am I talking about? We're talking about this environment. If you look at it very well, cover that the white plane, it says drop sheet here, but the white plane is not from here to this place. It's up here. The reason is that it is obeying the law of size. The size that is being displayed now is what we are seeing here. That is why it's small. Now all the work you have been doing, remember I said something about um naming your work. I said it. This is where you have that challenge. You see, I call this one sheet 5. So because I call sheet 5 now, I don't know the name. But of course, you can view it from here if you want. If you click on it, you see it. And this arrow is telling you to go to sheet. You want to go to the sheet directly. Let us click it. For instance, it has taken me back to what? Sheet 5. You see how it works? So I can go back again. I'll go back to my this, or I take it back through this step. Any of them can bring you back where you are. So that is 166. So you need to name your work if you want to enjoy the visualization. The ones that I named, I see they are coming out. So you continue to see them, so that the reason is that it is from here you pick the work that you drop onto the sheet here. Next thing again you need to know is about these containers. There's some work you need to do. You put them inside a container, and within a container you begin to arrange. That is at your discretion. Sometimes you don't need to use any container. You just go ahead and drop your work and repair it by your side. Then you set both the background and also set the working environment. We're still going to come back to this and rearrange this size. This size looks small, and the reason is that if it's small like this, it cannot accommodate much. But depending on what you want to show or how you want your dashboard to look like. Now you can see here we have vertical container, horizontal container. That is the container you want to display. Vertical, horizontal is just like a landscape. This shape that is just like a rectangle is a landscape. Then horizontal is just like a portrait. This particular region we are seeing here can be described as a portrait. Then you have our extension. Then this the data story. The story will always say one thing, but I don't want to talk much on the story now. When we get to the story part, we will discuss so that we'll get it as per. Then you want to also, maybe you want to introduce an image outside of what you have visualized. You can do that through this image platform. Of course, you know, you may be on the internet. It's possible the image will be from your network, from your laptop file, or you want to take it outside. That means you have to have your internet on ground. Then there's some places you need it to be blank, or you don't want it. If you want the spaces to be blank, you click on it. If not, you leave it the way it is. We have your workflow. You can actually interact with the internet here. You can download your work, among other things that you can do with here. Now you can also look at this place. It has tile and floating. Now when your work is under tile, it means that it does not have room for over to one to overstep one. It has a just like a brick or a block, one block at a time. They don't overlap each other. But for float you are giving your space the leverage to overflow on each other until you find what your space that you want. So it's a two form of arrangement. Now you want to show the title of your work, you can click on show title. The title, this thing will come up where you can write the title, like we saw dashboard 3, dashboard 4, dashboard 1. It was the title they clicked, and it gave them the room to type on it, and it will now show. Now this layout is giving you room again to do some setting, your background setting to your work. This is telling you your X position, Y position, but you can see that nothing is showing because we have not introduced any work here. You can determine your background, item hierarchy, among others. But most time the work has already been set for us. We don't need to do much about it. The only thing we need to do is to rearrange this size. This size is very, very important. So you can click on this small triangle, drop down, and you can see your range. minimum size, maximum size. Now you can now set your minimum and you can set your maximum. But remember, this is setting both your minimum and maximum for your width and for height. So try to see if we can increase our, first of all, our width. You can see as I'm pressing this is moving out. Let me go down and see it is shrinking. You can see it. So it's giving you more space of where you can drop your item until you cover your entire screen. And moreover, mind how you are opening it up. The reason is that depending on what and where you want to send your work to, because if it's a phone you want to send it to, by the time you make it too big and you want to open it on your phone app, discover that it will be problematic, to be too large. You can be able to fold it and enjoy what you want to see. So some of them you have to be mindful of it. So for the height, you can reduce the height or you can increase the height. So let's leave this setting for now and see what we can do. Now you can bring in some file even though questions have not been asked. I can also maybe set this on floating. Now you maybe, what do we do now? The scatter plot, for instance, you see how you drag it in, and when you drag it in you keep it where you want to keep it, and when you release your hand you see that it's populating your drop here. Now as it populates it, you can also do a lot of things here. You can increase it, you can shift it. How do you normally shift? You come to this place, bring it down or bring it up. It's at your choice. This angle is where you can do a lot of things. You can close this and remove this from dashboard if you don't like the visual or it's not making sense to you. You can click on the X and remove it from the dashboard. This arrow is taking you back to the sheet where this particular visual was taken from. Maybe there's some things you didn't do, and mind you, when you do correction here, it will affect your original visual in the sheet, and when you do correction there, it will also affect your dashboard. So once correction affects everything about, like now I want to maybe beautify this. As I'm beautifying, it's also beautifying the dashboard, the, what do you call it now, the sheet. Now if you open this small option, the small icon, and scroll it down, you can see whatever the things you can do here. You can also go to the sheet from here. You can duplicate this. You can set your width. What was in our other canvas, we can set it here. It is showing the title. You can also show caption. Caption will give you some important English of the combination. Accessibility, legend, filter. You can do a lot of things here. You know, you have profit, it has profit, and it has total expenses. So when you go to filter, you see it. So you, which one do you want to filter? You can do it from here. Floating, among others. You can even remove this from dashboard here, or you can rename the dashboard from here. They will all give you what you want. So if I close it, I can also do some things here. For formatting, I can also format from here. Can click on format, maybe borderline, for instance. I want to be seeing my borderline, or the lines I want it to be thicker. I want, maybe for instance I want to see my borderline. I will come here and do what I want to see there, and it will reflect here. Then close this, see my layout and dashboard, click on this place, it will open up again for me. And now once I have lifted something out, it will show me that I have lifted it into this particular place, so that I'll take note of it. Maybe the next thing again now is color or something like this. Face it, now I want to bring it in. Once you just hold and drag, it will take it to wherever you want. You can keep it here, it will come along with its legend. So it is left for you to set it up. I want to expand this, I can draw it down as I wish. It will obey me. I can click on this legend and put it where it will be beneficial to me. I can also come here and okay, increase this size. This is what I want to see, so that it will look nice for me. We can also make it such a way that you can have these colors by this place fitted. It is possible. Then the bullet graph or something else, okay, let us say the heat map, which we did. I can come here too and drag it and put it in the middle and open it up. I hope we're together. I've not heard anybody's voice for some time. So you can continue to set your work. So what I've just done now is trying to fit in my dashboard. Assuming this dashboard now is in order and I love it, for instance. Remember, what we are doing is we are trying to learn a lot of things here. If it is in order, fine. Now you can see this one too has its own key. When I click on it, I can bring it out and also maybe keep it somewhere where it is useful to me, because that is what we use to manipulate this work as far as that aspect is concerned. So as far as this process is concerned, so the we can also increase, maybe open another dashboard, go to dashboard and click on plus to give it another dashboard. You can go back again and change the setting just as we did before. We can expand it so that it can accommodate our work. And okay, so we can go again, close this, and then look at what we can be able to bring. For instance, we have some sheet. Okay, this area chart, we can bring area chart and expand it. For instance, we can bring in our bullet graph, put it up to can also, for instance, bring in our faces chart and put it up. Click on this, reduce it this way, and expand it this way. It is all possible. I can bring this one up. And also remove the key by clicking on it, it whatever for the sake of setting, and can put it up if you wish for the market. And one thing with your dashboard is that it is like this here. You can even go ahead to format, arrange it well. And when you want to have a particular view, by the time you click, maybe I want to look at this central market, it will only show me results for central market anywhere it is on the dashboard, except if there's no central market. So it will ask you to keep or exclude. I will now, maybe I don't want it, I'll go back and hit on this. Everything we see come back. So this is basically how um, the dashboard works. So after you have done your visualization and there are questions that need to be answered, you can now go ahead and begin to answer those questions based on your visuals. So that will form the basis of how you end the work, your storyline, because every work must be able to tell a story of what is obtainable or what is not obtainable. So I hope this important information will be very, very vital for us. So you can also, on your own, try to work with tile. See how the tile will look like. So how I was able to open this and increase the size of my area. So I want you to see if you can be able to, one, format this work, give me a better visual. I just brought drop and just pick and drop, but you know, as an analytics student, you have the ability of cleaning up your work to make it look nicer, so that when the stakeholders are asking question, the answer is there at their at their fingertip. So I'll maybe do one more again for this thing. Okay, let us use tide here. Let us see how tide will look like. Then this, open up this and increase the size of our work. Then want to go to the color. You see how the tile is, unlike the float, which will allow you to pass. Once you pick up a particular color and you bring in, the whole area becomes the place for you to drop. Let's just leave it here and see. You see how it has covered every facet, unlike the floating. It does not. I can still come here and reduce it. Give me some space here. So want to know, let's see if we can bring something like to our graph. Something like first to see. Now you see what is happening here. It's giving you the option where you can place it. Will you place it here? Will you place it here? Are you bringing it here? Assuming or straight. If I leave it here, you see it has populated it. This is for tile, taking up its own space, while the other one gives you some leverage because it can allow overlapping, as I said earlier. Remember, what we are doing is practice. So in practice, you are allowed to manipulate a lot of things and see how it goes. Scatter plot is giving you room here. So this place now is actually the space for this. So let's repeat again. Let's go back and do that step one after the other. Let's open up again. It has reduced my space by one step. Okay, let's take this and put it up first and leave it there. Now after you have left it, pick facet, bring it in. It's giving you option whether to put it, share it by half, or take it by horizontal. Okay, if I decide okay I want to put it here, I leave it here. See, it has populated this, and the key is one side. Pick another thing again, maybe your color. It's giving you option again where to place it, how to place it. So okay, I want to leave it here, or I want to leave it here or here, and you see that all of them is giving you option. I pick maybe another maybe play chart. No, let me take my graph is not showing. Let me check my bullet. See, I see that it has separated the work for me, and I've kept this thing one after the other. And remember, you see here it says show ties. So when you click on it, show dashboard, see it's giving you a dashboard tree. You can actually give it a name. You can call it, for instance, say dash, what do you call it, say CDC dash dashboard 1, for instance. And we can maybe give it a color. So take color green, make it to be bold. You can also rename it here, so I can copy it and say okay. So this is the name of this dashboard. So this dashboard is bearing everything here, so I can come here and also place it to rename it. So you see that my dashboard has been made, and this is done using tile, and the other one we did before was done using floating. So you can be able to decipher which one is sweeter for you to use, and you adopt it. That is all that is there for you. So you can also name this dashboard. See, dashboard 2 is coming up there. So this one is blocking it. Can reduce it a bit so that you can see the dashboard. So you can give it any name. Say CDC D board. Don't give it any name. And whatever you do to it, it will remain that way. And click OK, for instance. So you see we have dashboard 2. So when you copy it, Ctrl C, put OK here, and you come to dashboard 2 and put it. That becomes the name. So that is how you name your dashboard, and you begin to tell some visual grouping similar answer. What we are just doing is practice. We are just trying to see how you can bring in dashboard from the list of your visual, and you bring it onto the dashboard platform to generate a visual that has groupings. So it will help you to answer some important question. So I think we'll go ahead to save this work, then tomorrow we'll build on it. So you have a wonderful day. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.